Good morning. Okay, I'm still really sick, and this is going to be really unusual. This finding me here day after day, because I see myself, calming down and not doing this quite so often. But for now, you're going to have to put up with my like overwhelming passion for this whole idea of embracing and loving what is, and of real being beautiful. I really got so much out of vlogging for you yesterday because this morning when I woke up, actually I've been up for an hour and a half now, but this morning when I woke up at 8 o'clock, I felt the anxiety immediately kick in about how I was going to spend my morning. And I was able to interrupt the flow of that anxious thinking. As I was stirring sugar into my coffee, I was giving myself a little pep talk. Let change come organically. Effie, be okay with where you are. Embrace what is. What is that what you really want to do this morning is you want to go and check your email, and you want to go and check on the studio, and you want to see how your first vlog was received, and that's okay. So I gave myself that little pep talk, and I immediately relaxed and found all sorts of beautiful things from here at Real Beautiful, comments from you guys telling me how much you appreciate the authenticity, the speaking truth to the power of my ego and of my negative thinking. Some beautiful comments over at my personal blog, some fun stuff from Goddess Circle, some fun stuff on my Facebook. So it was a really nice way to start my day, and I'm just so ready to embrace that I love this part of my day, and I'm just ready to embrace that. Yesterday, I came across a quote by a woman whose name I can never pronounce. I think it's Yanla Van Zant, about how we can tell ourselves that we accept what's happened, but until we really get to the root of the wound, we'll continue to bleed. It's in the blog at realbeautiful.org. You'll see her beautiful face with her beautiful smile. If you click on that picture, the quote is there. You can read it for yourself. But she talked about how until we really deal with the root of the problem, we will bandage it, and it will continue to bleed and ooze and stain our life. And the way we bandage it is through a whole bevy of addictive behaviors. So smoking, drinking, drugging, sexing, shopping, an addiction to the internet instead of being in reality. You're in this world. All of those different methods of kind of staunching the bleeding will staunch it. It will temporarily numb it out, but it doesn't fix it. And the only thing that fixes it is really going there, going into the wound, digging around, and finding the root of it, and really dealing with it. I'm really out of breath today, so you're going to have to bear with me. This cold is like deep in my lungs. So as I was reading that, it was like a kick to the gut, because there are a few things that I am certainly struggling with, and the changes I don't think are going to be as organic as I would like them to be, simply because they are deeply, deeply rooted behaviors that I have developed over the years, over very many long years. One of them is that I drink too much, and the other is that I smoke to my own, like, end of life kind of thing. Like, I'm really killing myself with cigarettes. It was a kick to the gut because I had, I am guilty as anybody else of settling and getting into a complacent place in my life, and I've certainly gotten there with some of my addictive behaviors, especially the smoking. And the only way that I have found to be, what's the word I'm looking for, efficacious around, remembering to go there, remembering to do the work, is to keep a record. So that's where journaling comes in. That's where art journaling comes in. The thing is, though, is that with art journaling, I have stopped wording. I've stopped putting words to what's going on with me in my art journal. I'll put like taglines, but I won't really go deep. And so that is a really good reminder to me that I need to get back to morning pages or some form of journaling, because that record keeps my self-awareness at peak, right? So if I'm self-aware, then if I am bandaging, I can be more aware of it. And that may not mean that I immediately change it, but it will mean that it's on my mind to change it. And that's how change can come more organically. So I wanted to share with you that I have, after 7 years of fairly heavy drinking, fairly heavy being a relative term, fairly heavy for me anyway. I have decided that I don't have a physical addiction to alcohol, but I definitely have a psychological dependency on it. If I'm bored, this is the first thing I think of, is having a drink. And I have a very interesting metabolism in that I can drink and drink and drink and drink and not really feel much of anything except for the horrible, horrible, horrible hangover the next day. So I will sit down with a 1.5 liter bottle, which is like, that's a big bottle of wine. I can finish that in one night. And of course, that's over a period of, hours, many hours, but still, a 1.5 liter bottle of wine in one night, that's a lot. I can drink a half a bottle of whiskey in one night, no problem. And it doesn't change my behavior, except that I do get a little more emotionally sensitive, and I definitely relax a lot more. But so the problem is not behavioral. The problem is not like it was in my family, where my dad would drink and become very, very violent. The problem is that I drink to numb out, and then I feel like shit the next day. That's the problem. So I actually have not had a drink at home in over 2 weeks now. And I'm not saying it's been easy. There have been moments when I've been like, oh, especially since I'm sick, because what I really want when I'm sick is a whiskey toddy. It hasn't been easy, but it has been organic in the sense that it wasn't a big beating up on myself kind of thing. It was just, I don't like how I feel when I do this, so I'm going to stop doing it. And I'm not going the route of, total sobriety, because I don't have a problem with, as long as I'm not drinking at home, it's not a problem. You know what I mean? Like, I haven't had a drink in 2 weeks. We had a pint when we were out for wings one night, and as long as it's not right here, it's not an issue for me. So I'm lucky in the sense that I don't have the physical addiction component of a drinking problem. I just have when I have it, I use it inappropriately problem. So I have quit drinking at home, and I'm very proud of myself for that. It is a major change that I've made. But there's one more change that I really need to make, and I'm not beating up on myself. I'm not being mean to myself. But I am very lovingly and very gently reminding myself that I have lung disease and I need to quit smoking. I quit smoking in the summer for 2 months. It lasted 2 months. It was the best 2 months of my life. I had oodles of energy. I was managing the cravings really well. I was really dealing beautifully. And then there was a blow up in my relationship that was really serious. And the first thing I did when this relationship stuff came down was I ran out, I cut all my hair off, and I bought a pack of cigarettes. So completely sabotaged my own nicotine sobriety. And I need to set another quit date. So I have November 1st is my new quit date. And I need to do what this quote that's on my blog right now suggests, which is to get into the wound that leads to my bandaging it with cigarettes. So I know why I smoke. Smoking is the way that I medicate my anxiety. Smoking is the way that I sort of like, it decreases my life force. I have a lot of life force. And it tamps it down a bit so that I can manage without, going completely fucking batshit crazy. So if I have a strong emotion, I'll immediately light up. Like that is the way that I operate. And I have a lot of strong emotions, and I have them often, so I smoke a lot. I smoke about a pack a day. In Canada, that's 25. In the States, I know it's 20, but in Canada, it's 25. And I have lung disease. I'm like sucking on a steroid inhaler at least twice a day, if not 4 times a day. So this is this isn't like a changing your diet thing. This is an if I don't quit, I'm going to die thing. It is serious. And I minimize it all the time by saying, well, given the life I've had and given all that I've experienced, it's a wonder I'm not a crackhead, or I'm not on meth, or I'm not, shooting heroin. And then there's this wise voice in my head that says, what's the difference? Like, either way, you're killing yourself. Either way, you're not doing the work. Either way, you're just medicating and numbing out. So whatever drug you're using, it's still addictive, it's still hurting you, and it is hurting you in very serious physical ways. So that's next on my list of things to tackle. So I have set a quit date for November 1st. What is really beautiful about this for me is that having a place to go with this truth is so incredibly healing. You know, like my girls know I smoke. My girls from the studio know I smoke, and sometimes they nag me about it. My daughter nags me about it. And you know, that doesn't help. I'm telling you right now, that doesn't help. But knowing they care does help. You know, that does help. But being able to come in here and say to you, yeah, I know I need to quit, and it's made me very, very sick. I have, you know, I've had like a peak flow test and all of that stuff, and my lung function is 30% less than a normal person. That's a lot. 30% less life force happening in my body. And knowing that I can come here and, you know, be accountable to that and say, I know what I need to do, and I'm going to do it, and I'm, you know, going to let you witness me doing it so that I have some support. It's beautiful to me that I can do that. Like, technology is amazing. That I'm able to come in here and say, okay, this is what I need to do now. I need your help in just, you know, just cheer me on. What did it for me the last time I quit for 2 months. A friend of mine on Facebook who I've never met in person, but she, you know, she's on my Facebook. She's always in my periphery. Her husband has lung cancer. So it was like, oh, like, you know, I probably won't get lung cancer. Lung cancer doesn't run, you know, cancers themselves don't run in my family, but emphysema does, and that's where I'm headed. That is exactly where I'm headed. COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. It's exactly where I'm headed. So I need to quit, and I'm probably going to come here and talk to you about it. Okay. Other things on the agenda for today. Oh, I got started on my Japanese bound accordion. This is an accordion journal. I got started on this yesterday. This is for the observation journaling thing that I'm going to do, where I'm going to go through the 20 prompts. I just sat on the couch yesterday and made this while we were watching Colbert. It's very easy. I need a few more pages because I want at least 30 spreads, but I'm thinking of each of these panels as a spread. So that's what I did yesterday. I didn't do any like art, unless you consider journal making art, which I guess I do. And I hope to be back with you soon to show you some actual stuff that I've put in here. So I'm going to go have a real beautiful day, and I hope you do too. Big smooches. Thanks for being here. Bye.